They say some buildings never let go of their past. The Ohio State Reformatory, better known as Shawshank Prison, isn't just a relic of brutal American justice. It's a place where the air itself feels haunted by suffering. You've probably seen its towering Gothic facade in The Shawshank Redemption, but what you didn't see in the movie are the ghosts. What if we told you that people still hear footsteps echoing through empty cell blocks, or that screams from solitary confinement still ring out in the middle of the night when no one is there? Welcome to Shawshank, not the film set the real prison, and its stories are darker than any Hollywood script. The birth of a haunted fortress. Built between 1886 and 1910, the Ohio State Reformatory was designed to reform young offenders. But what started as a hopeful experiment in rehabilitation slowly became a nightmare. With overcrowded cells, crumbling infrastructure, and systemic abuse, Shawshank turned into a pressure cooker of pain, violence, and death. By the 1930s, the facility was housing thousands beyond capacity. Disease spread. Guards were known to beat inmates senseless, and in the depths of the prison in its basement, things started to happen that no one could explain. The basement entities. One of the most active haunted areas is the basement. Paranormal investigators and former workers have consistently reported not one, but two distinct entities. First, there's the shadow of a young boy no older than 10, said to be seen sitting quietly in the corners. No records indicate a child ever lived or died in the prison, yet dozens of witnesses claim to have seen him. And then there's the darker force. Multiple visitors have described being overcome with dread near the boiler room. Cold spots appear on thermal cameras. EMF detectors spike wildly. Some believe this spirit may have belonged to a murderer who was killed by inmates and that he's not done punishing people. The hole and what still screams there beneath Shawshank lies the prison's most feared chamber, the hole. Officially a solitary confinement unit, it was the size of a closet, pitch black, freezing cold, and completely soundproof. Inmates were often thrown inside for weeks without human contact. According to legend, one prisoner was forgotten down there. Days later, guards found him dead with scratch marks all over his face and walls. Some say he went mad. Others believe something else found him. Visitors who enter the hole today often come out trembling. Some vomit. Others claim they felt hands on their necks. No one stays long. East Wing shadows and screams. The East Cell Block, the largest freestanding steel cell block in the world, has its own ghosts. Former guards described seeing figures at the end of corridors who vanish into thin air. Tourists frequently report hearing distant screams, even when alone. In 2006, a ghost tour guide captured a blurry photo of a black silhouette staring through the bars. It was posted on Reddit, where thousands debated its authenticity. Skeptics called it a trick of light, but others, including staff, believe it's one of the many spirits left behind. Fire and the forgotten. One of the most horrifying chapters in Shawshank's history came in 1930. A fire broke out in the East Wing, killing more than 300 inmates. Many were trapped in their cells, burned alive while screaming for help. Some say the screams never stopped. To this day, sudden heat waves appear in that area even in winter. Visitors have reported hearing the clang of cell doors, as if spirits are still trying to escape. The chair room. There's a small chamber, rarely shown on tours, where a lone wooden chair sits in the center. No one knows its origin, but the legends surrounding it are chilling. Anyone who dares to sit in the chair reports feeling pressure on their chest, as if someone is standing on them. A few guests left with scratches on their backs. Paranormal teams have recorded growls, low and guttural, on EVP devices. One investigator, a skeptic at the time, reportedly blacked out in the room. When he awoke, he refused to return to Shawshank again. The ghost tours and celebrity ghost hunters. The reformatory closed in 1990 and reopened as a historic site, but it wasn't long before ghost stories overshadowed its legacy. Paranormal shows like Ghost Hunters and Ghost Adventures filmed multiple episodes here. They captured orbs, mysterious whispers, cold blasts, and one instance of a black mist that appeared to move on its own. The world now knew Shawshank not just as a movie location, but as a real-life haunted hotspot. Today, the prison runs overnight ghost hunts. Visitors come in groups. Some leave early, some don't finish the tour at all. A living legend. There's something about Shawshank that clings to your memory. Maybe it's the sorrow carved into its stones. Maybe it's the silence so thick you can feel it. Or maybe, just maybe, it's the souls that never left. People don't just visit for the movie nostalgia anymore. They come looking for answers, for proof, for connection, for fear, and they leave asking the same question. How can a building hold so much pain? The ghosts of Shawshank aren't the ones you see in movies. They're real, they're silent, they're watching. So if you ever find yourself walking its echoing halls, don't look back. And whatever you do, don't sit in the chair. And remember, history isn't just something we study. Sometimes it watches us back.